Welcome back to Feature Highlights on PeepSo TV channel. I'm your host Sinisha, and this is the last part of our mini-series regarding site notifications. In this episode, we are going to talk about Email Digest. And Email Digest serves only one purpose. It is not active notification system. What we like to call a passive notification system for those users that didn't log in on your website. So we all have those users, right? You probably have them too. And you want to somehow engage those users and show them what they have been missing on the website. So if someone didn't log in for example, I don't know, 3 days or 7 days or one entire month, you can send them the summary of everything that has been happening on the website so they can see in a one fine email and eventually decide to come back to your website. So let me show you how to set all of this up. Let's start with the requirements. First of all, Email Digest is not available in Basic Bundle. So if you go to our pricing page and check the bundles, compare them, you will see that Email Digest is not available in Basic. So you will have to have at least Ultimate Monthly or any other Ultimate package. All right? With that out of the way, to install the Email Digest, you simply go to your WordPress dashboard, then PeepSo installer, wait for your license to be checked, and once it is, find the Email Digest, click on install, wait for it to be downloaded and installed, and once the page let me, just activate the plugin. And the message will be displayed here, the plugin is activated. Once you see this message, go to PeepSo configuration, and then Email Digest, and all of the options will be available here. So we'll continue from there. For this particular plugin, configuration is divided on two sides. On the left-hand side, you will have all of the configuration options that you can configure. And on the right-hand side, there will be 100 last Email Digests sent logs, where you can see all of the users that got the Email Digest and the content that they got. Because I'm doing this tutorial from my local computer, which is set never to send any emails, this Email Digest logs will always be empty. But if you install it on the actual website with the working email server, you will see the sent Email Digest logs piling up really quickly, especially if you have inactive users. Before we go into the options over here, I want to divert your attention to the blog post I created earlier, where I tried to explain everything that is happening behind your website. And one of those things is the limitation that is imposed on the share hosting to prevent spam. And that simply means you have a limited number of emails that you can send per 1 hour. So if you're on a shared hosting, you most likely have this limitation in effect. It doesn't necessarily have to be 100 emails. It can be 200 emails or 50 emails, but the limitation will be there. And to lift this limitation, your shared hosting option needs to be upgraded to VPS or higher hosting package. All right? I will leave the link to this blog post in the description below. Before we touch any of the settings, I want you to scroll down a little bit and see this execute email digest creation via cron job. So enable that, and if you're interested what a cron job is, we have the entire episode explaining how to set up the cron jobs. And you can find it on YouTube. It's published a couple of months ago. All right. So once you set up the external cron job, either on your server or third-party service, you can decide how many emails should be created in a batch. And this is not an option that is sending. In this option, you're not deciding how many emails you are sending in a batch, but how many of them are going to be created. All right, let's save those settings. And now let's decide how often we want to send those emails. But first, we need to decide how many days will have to pass before user will receive the email digest. And all of those days need to pass when user is not logged in. So if I set this, for example, to 10 days, all right, and I am the user of the website that I am logged in, for example, today, and I haven't been logged in the entire week after that. And I logged in on 9th day after my previous login. And this means I'm logged in within 10 days and I will never get the email digest because I never been inactive for more than 10 days. I hope that made sense, all right? Let's save these settings and now decide how often we want to dispatch these emails. And I will say the best setting over here will be 7 days or 8 days. Let's give it a day ahead and let's send the email digest every Monday at 10 a.m. And this is the server time, right? It's not going to be your local time. If you're from Asia, for example, and your server is located in the United States, it will be at 10 a.m. at the server time, okay? And because cron job is staggering the emails, as I explained in the previous videos over here, when you where you can learn how emails are being sent from your website. Because emails are staggered, the process will start at 10 a.m., but it doesn't necessarily mean that all of the users will receive the email exactly at 10 a.m. If you have, let's say, 5,000 inactive users, it is literally impossible to send 5,000 emails at the same time and your server not being blacklisted on the whatever list they are using for preventing spam. So we thought about that as well. Okay, let's move on with the content options, and these content options simply allow you to curate the content that is going to be sent in the email digest. Speaking of content, it's important to know that email digest cannot include posts with friends only or only me privacy, because you will see how it made sense, because how many posts should be included per one email, you can decide how many new posts will be added to the email digest. And let's say you haven't been logged in on the website for a long period of time, and I have been, and I created the friends only post, but you are not my friend on the website. That post cannot be included because you are not my friend, right? So only posts with the public and site members' privacy will be included in the email digest. All right, with that out of the way, let's see what are the options we have for the content included in the email. Obviously, you can change the title if you want. Decide to use images or not. You'll need to be careful over here because the more images you include, the more likely you'll be marked as spam. So use it with caution over here. How many posts should be included per one email? I already touched upon that, and you can decide either 3 or 10, and you can even decide to send email digest emails even if there are less posts. So if user has not been active for more than 8 days and there are only 2 posts on the website, they are still going to receive the email digest when this option is enabled. Okay? You can include the most liked posts, most commented posts, and even allow duplicate posts if you want. And finally, you can limit the post length in email digest email to whatever number of characters you want. These last options over here will allow you to subscribe new users to email digest by default, and it will only work for new users. So if you already had the users, they will and decide you want to turn this off, only the new users that register from the moment you turn off the setting will be this option will actually be applied. I suggest to leave this on by default, and you can decide which PeepSo user role should receive the email. Community administrator is enabled by default for the debugging purposes, but you can turn that off if you want. Just save the settings and you're all set for the email digest. All right, so we came to the end of this mini-series regarding notifications in PeepSo. First, we started with on-site notifications. In the second episode, we talked about the email notifications. And finally, we concluded with the email digest. I will leave all the links to the previous episodes in the description below, as well as the links to our social media where you can follow us and see all the latest updates that we have for you. If you liked this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell notification icon to be notified whenever a new video comes out. Until then, I wish you all the best with your websites. Bye!